Give it up for Stacey Rice.
We love you, Stacey.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Oh, that was very sweet. Thank you. I was 5 years old growing up in a small town in the North Carolina mountains when I realized that something wasn't quite right in my world. From the outside, everyone that I had contact with saw this cute little boy with the big smile. But that wasn't what I saw. For I knew, deeply knew, that I was actually a little girl inside. It's quite a quandary, isn't it? It wasn't until about 5 years later that I found someone else who had that same quandary. It was 1967. My family were loading up our cars, my dad and my mom and my brother and my granddaddy and my granny, and we were heading out across country to Albuquerque, New Mexico. We were going to visit my granddaddy's sister. It was kind of the second night in, we were in Oklahoma, and we'd just got back from dinner. We had this little hotel, and we just got back from dinner, and we were sitting around the television, and this news report came on, and I could hardly believe what I was hearing. For the reporter said, "XGI becomes blonde bombshell." And they flashed this picture of this male soldier, and right beside it was another picture of this beautiful blonde with these big, luscious red lips. And it was Christine Jorgensen, who at that time was the most well-known person in the United States who'd had what they called then a sex change operation. Wow, you mean there was someone else like me? It was the first time I'd ever noticed that or seen that. I can't adequately describe the depth of loneliness and anxiety that I dealt with, knowing that there was someone inside of me, but it wasn't apparent to anybody outside. I didn't know what to do, but the one thing that I did know how to do was to act. And I was going to act really great in my male role. And I like to say that I actually acted so well that I should have got an Academy Award for Best Actor. I was really good. As I'll show you how good I was. I actually had this big black bushy beard later in my teens, if you can imagine that. So maybe I should have got one for costume design as well, too. So what I did, as life continued, I kept acting. I acted into a marriage, I acted into a divorce. And I found myself at 28 years old alone and not really able to kind of run away and hide from who I really was, which I had done those first 28 years. I ended up getting a little basement apartment, which I think is kind of appropriate in a way that I was kind of sheltered by the earth, which was I needed that at that time. It was time to kind of find out who Stacey was. I really hadn't done that much before that time. So I bought this cute little bob wig. I bought some makeup and started playing around with that. And thank God for JCPenney catalog because they have an amazing tall women's section. And at that time, it was mail order, so they just brought it right to my door. It was perfect, actually. But I couldn't hide in my basement apartment forever. I had to kind of step out. And so, being the good Virgo that I am, I had a great plan. I decided I was going to get dressed as Stacey, go out as myself to the local grocery store in my hometown of 2,000 people. Yeah. What was I thinking? I was deciding, okay, so it had to be a Monday or Tuesday because I knew there wouldn't be many people in the grocery store. I had to go maybe after 7 o'clock. Oh my God, I had it all planned out. I had figured out what I was going to wear and everything. So the day came. It was a Tuesday night. I got dressed, put on the makeup the best I could, stepped outside and hopped into my Ford pickup truck. And I headed to the grocery store. And on the way over, I kept thinking, oh my gosh, am I holding the steering wheel in a feminine way? I mean, this was the first time. All these thoughts were going through my mind. It was interesting how that my foot on the pedal felt different in women's shoes versus men's shoes. But it was all just kind of running around up here, and I made it to the grocery store. Thank God there was hardly anybody in the parking lot. So I got out of the truck, walked in the grocery store, grabbed a cart. I aimlessly wandered through the first 2 or 3 aisles. Lord knows what I put into my grocery cart because I was just grabbing stuff here and there because I was so focused on how is this feeling? Is anybody getting ready to yell, what's going on over there? All these thoughts were just running around in my mind, and I'm kind of aimlessly going through the store. And I round one of the aisle corners and come around, and right there in front of me was my 11th grade school teacher. And I froze. I looked at her. She looked at me very quizzically like, I think I might know this person, but I'm not real sure. You know, the fight or flight reflex? The flight reflex was so strong and the adrenaline was so full, I probably could have very easily jumped across the shelves to the next aisle. Oh my gosh. But what I did instead, I just pushed my cart past her, and she just was looking, and she didn't say anything, which was lovely. But once I got past her, I realized I got to get the hell out of this store. I've done all I need to do. So I went and I checked out, and nothing happened there. It was all very smooth. Got back into my Ford pickup truck, and I thought, God, I did it. I really did it. And it really felt right, and it really felt good. I wish I could say that having that amazing experience, that I transitioned like right away, but fear is a pretty powerful thing. And I was pretty scared. I mean, you have to upend your life. Everything changes. Yes, when you do change your gender, everything is affected in your life. So I kept acting until I got to a point where I really couldn't act anymore. I was sitting in my house, and the walls and my mind was just going around and around about my life, how I'm stuck. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to move forward. Just the walls were just closing in around me. And so for some reason, I put on my coat and walked outside. I think maybe just to kind of not feel those walls around me. It was one of those lovely cold winter nights in the North Carolina mountains where all the stars are out. And I could just remember standing there and looking up at the stars and thinking, I've really only got a couple of choices. I can try to transition, which I had really no clue on how to do, or I could kill myself. And I tell you, I can't even describe how good that felt. To the peace that I felt when I thought that I didn't have to deal with this inner conflict, which had been there since 5 years old. God, it sounded like a great thing. It really did. But luckily for me, I had a little voice pop up in my head and said, no, Stacey, you can't do that. You've got way too much stuff left to do. And how's this going to affect your family? And my daughter at that time was 10 years old. How's it going to affect her? So you can't do that. You got to go forward. Baby steps. Got to go baby steps. And that's what I decided to do. And those baby steps one day led me to the front doors of the Duke University Medical Center, where I had an appointment with a doctor to get what I like to call my wonder drugs. That was going to change my life and start my official transition. And it was about 6 months after that wonderful day that I received the best gift that probably a soul could ever receive. I woke up that morning and walked into my bathroom to wash my face and brush my teeth, and I looked in the mirror, and there was a female face looking back at me. My female face. It was an incredible experience. And to this day, I still get chill bumps when I say it, because it was such a powerful thing. And you know what? I always knew she was in there. Thank you.